Think about blowing up a balloon. The harder you blow, the more it expands, right? Now imagine doing that 23,000 times a day. That is your respiratory system at work. But your lungs aren't just simple balloons. They are masterpieces of biological engineering operating under strict laws of physics. Today we are going to break down the mechanical forces that keep you alive. Lung compliance, airway resistance, and the evolutionary miracle that prevents your lungs from literally imploding. In medicine, we measure how easily the lungs stretch using a metric called lung compliance. Mathematically, compliance is the change in lung volume per unit change in transpulmonary pressure. In a healthy adult, normal compliance is about zero point 0.2 liters per centimeter of water. But compliance isn't constant. It changes depending upon how much air is already in your lungs. If you look at a pressure volume loop, you will notice a strange phenomena. The lung inflates along one path but deflates along a slightly different one. This structural lag is called hysteresis, and it's proof that your lung tissue remembers its shape. When compliance goes wrong, breathing becomes an uphill battle. In conditions like pulmonary edema or pulmonary fibrosis, the lungs become exceptionally stiff. The compliance curve shifts downward and to the right. You need massive amounts of pressure just to get a tiny sip of air. In emphysema, smoking or toxins destroy the lung elastic fibers. The lungs lose their recoil and become overly stretchy, shifting the curve upwards and to the left. Sure, they inflate easily, but they can't snap back to push the air out. This causes severe air trapping. But stretching the tissue is only half the battle. You also have to move the air through a massive plumbing system. This brings us to the airway resistance. Resistance is defined as the change in pressure from the alveoli to the mouth divided by the airflow rate. Most of this resistance lives in your larger bronchi and bronchioles. If the smooth muscle lining these pathways contracts even a little bit, the radius shrinks, causing a massive spike in resistance. But the single biggest threat to your breathing isn't the airways. It's the surface tension of the fluid lining your microscopic air sacs, the alveoli. According to the law of Laplace, a sphere under tension experiences an inward collapsing pressure that is directly proportional to twice the surface tension and inversely proportional to the radius. Here is the physics nightmare. During expiration, as an alveolus gets smaller, its radius decreases. If surface tension stays the same, the inward collapsing pressure would skyrocket. The smaller alveoli would instantly collapse and dump all their air into the larger ones. This is called atelectasis. Enter the hero of our story, pulmonary surfactant. Surfactant is a highly specialized biological cocktail made of lipids, mainly dipalmitoyl phosphatidylcholine. As an alveolus deflates and gets smaller, these surfactant molecules are squeezed tightly together. This increases their concentration per unit area, driving the local surface tension down to nearly zero. By dropping the surface tension as the radius shrinks, surfactant completely neutralizes the law of Laplace, keeping the alveoli stable and open. This system undergoes its ultimate test at the exact moment of birth. In the womb, a fetus doesn't breathe air. The lungs are filled with fluid driven by active chloride secretion from epithelial cells. But at birth, everything changes. The infant takes a powerful first breath to expand those collapsed fluid filled lungs. This monumental effort triggers a massive biological switch. The lungs stop secreting chloride and start rapidly reabsorbing sodium via epithelial sodium channels. This clears the fluid out of the air spaces almost instantly. For premature infants born before their surfactant system is fully developed, this transition is catastrophic. High surface tension causes widespread alveolar collapse, leading to infant respiratory distress syndrome or hyaline membrane disease. This is made worse by immature epithelial sodium channels that fail to clear the fetal fluid. The good news: modern medicine can deliver synthetic or animal derived surfactant directly into neonates' lungs, saving countless lives. So, the next time you take a deep breath without thinking, thank your surfactant molecules and your epithelial sodium channels, and the beautiful physics of a stable alveolus. If you learned something new today, hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into the human machine, and drop a comment below on what medical mystery we should tackle next. Stay curious and keep breathing easy.